Alright, so it's time for another Sitcom Smackdown video. Now if you don't know what Sitcom Smackdown is, it's basically where I take 4 sitcoms, some from Disney Channel, some from Nickelodeon, you know I like to mix it up, and then I basically put them head to head in order to find out which sitcom is the best. Now our 4 competitors this time are That's So Raven, Drake and Josh, Zoey 101, and The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. So we're going to start off with That's So Raven because it came first. Now, That's So Raven is a Disney Channel original series that ran from 2003 till 2007. It ran for 4 seasons and it basically follows the life of a teenage psychic named Raven. Now, some strengths about this show are its representation. We love seeing a show about an African American family. Also, another strength for That's So Raven would be its entertainment factor. I consider That's So Raven to be one of the most, if not the most entertaining show that Disney Channel has ever had. Also, another strength would be this show's popularity because That's So Raven broke so many records for the Disney Channel. So that's it when it comes to That's So Raven's strengths. Now we move on to the show's weaknesses. So there are moments in the show, especially during the 3rd season, where I felt like I was straight up watching a cartoon. Like Raven would be flying around the room, people would be so over the top that it got to the point where I was just like, okay, you lost me. Okay, now moving on to Drake and Josh. Drake and Josh is a Nickelodeon original series that ran from 2004 to 2007. It ran for 4 seasons and it basically follows the life of 2 teenage boys, Drake and Josh, whose parents get married and then Drake and Josh become stepbrothers. Now, something I've always liked about the show is how it showcased a blended family. We don't really see that often on Disney Channel or Nickelodeon, and I thought it was very nice. Also, another strength for this show would be how hilarious it is. And this is just me, but I consider Drake and Josh to be Nickelodeon's That's So Raven. Like, just in terms of how entertaining it is, how funny it is, and also in terms of like how both shows were kind of like the first big record-breaking series for each network. Okay, now moving on to the show's weaknesses. Okay, so yes, this show is funny. However, all of the humor in Drake and Josh derives from watching the main characters suffering, especially Josh. Like, throughout the series, we just see Josh getting tortured by everybody around him. And even though Drake and Josh's little sister, Megan, even though she tortured both Drake and Josh, everybody else, like, was just going in on Josh and, like, kind of left Drake alone. Okay, so now we're moving on to Zoey 101. Now, Zoey 101 is a Nickelodeon original series that ran from 2005 till 2008. It ran for 4 seasons and it basically follows the life of a girl named Zoey who gets to go to a boarding school called Pacific Coast Academy. Now, a strength for this show would be its creativity. First of all, it was one of the very few shows on Disney and Nickelodeon that didn't have any laugh tracks. Also, this show was shot on location, whereas most shows were shot like on a soundstage or on a set. This show was just like an open environment, which I thought made it even more unique. Okay, now we move on to the show's weaknesses. Okay, Zoey 101 has the most behind-the-scenes drama out of any show I have ever seen between Disney and Nickelodeon. The only other show I can think of that has anywhere near as much behind-the-scenes drama as Zoey 101 is Victorious. But yeah, all of the behind-the-scenes drama and all the controversy surrounding Zoey 101 does make it very hard to watch at times. Okay, now we move on to The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. Now, The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody is a Disney Channel original series that ran from 2005 to 2008. It ran for 3 seasons and it basically follows the life of 2 twin boys named Zack and Cody who live in a hotel. Now, a strength for this show would be its diversity. Half of the original cast of The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody are minorities, which I thought was a very cool thing, especially for the time, which there wasn't really a lot of diversity at the time. Another strength would be the whole twin concept. I do think The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody did handle the whole twin thing better than any show did on Disney Channel or Nickelodeon. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about the show's strengths. Now we move on to the show's weaknesses. The one weakness I found that surrounds The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody is not with the actual show itself, it's with its spin-off series, The Sweet Life on Deck. Now you may be asking why I'm bringing up The Sweet Life on Deck if I'm talking about The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, because like The Sweet Life on Deck is a spin-off, so it's a completely different show. However, I've always thought of The Sweet Life on Deck as more of a continuation than a spin-off, because like the 2 main characters, the twin boys Zack and Cody, they're still the stars of The Sweet Life on Deck. So like both The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody and The Sweet Life on Deck are their shows. They just interchanged a few of the supporting characters. Now, in my opinion, The Sweet Life on Deck is not as good as the original series. Like, they got rid of half of the original cast, and then they added some new characters who I didn't really like that. So yeah, The Sweet Life on Deck, that show kind of taints the whole Sweet Life franchise for me. Okay, so now that I've talked about all 4 shows, it's time to start eliminating. Okay, so the first show I want to eliminate is none other than Zoey 101. Listen, I know a lot of people love this show. It's just that it's very hard for me to watch this show without thinking of all of the behind the scenes drama and all of the controversies surrounding the show. Now, the next show I want to eliminate is The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. Now listen, The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody is a good show and it's one of my favorites. However, The Sweet Life on Deck is like an anchor, like dragging the whole franchise down. Okay, so now we're on to our final two shows, That's So Raven and Drake and Josh. Now, both of these shows are classics. They were both big hits for their networks. However, if you were to ask me to choose one show between the two, I'm sorry, Drake and Josh, but I'm gonna have to go with my girl Raven. So there you have it. That's So Raven is the winner of this Sitcom Smackdown. And because the show won, it's ineligible to compete in any future Sitcom Smackdowns that we may have. That is assuming that you guys really like this video and want me to continue. So please let me know what you think by commenting and liking and subscribing. Anyways, thank you so much for watching.